We've been told that hard work is the key to success, that if we just put in the hours, the universe will reward us. But what if that's only half the truth? What if, despite our sweat and sacrifice, we're still playing a game we don't fully understand? Life operates on principles, natural laws that govern everything from the orbit of planets to the growth of a seed. These laws are impartial, unyielding, and ever-present. But when it comes to money, many of us are unaware of the rules that dictate financial success. Is it bad luck, a cursed fate, or perhaps spiritual forces working against us? Or is it simply a lack of knowledge, a missing manual on how money truly works? In a world that's constantly evolving, clinging to outdated beliefs is a recipe for stagnation. To thrive, we must be willing to question, to adapt, to transform our understanding. The financial landscape has shifted. The game remains, but the rules have changed. And those who recognize this are the ones who rise, while others are left wondering what went wrong. There are 7 powerful rules of money, principles that can redefine your financial destiny. Some are familiar, others will challenge everything you thought you knew. But it's the 7th, the final rule, that holds the most transformative power. Are you ready to uncover the truths that have eluded so many? To step off the treadmill of toil and onto the path of prosperity? Stay with me, and let's journey through the 7 powerful rules of money. But remember, the 7th rule, you won't see it coming. The first rule, knowledge. In the old world, wealth was measured in land, gold, cattle. But today, the most valuable currency is knowledge. If you want to change your financial destiny, this is the first rule you must understand. Those who know rule over those who don't. It's not about working harder anymore. It's about working smarter. And knowledge is what bridges the gap between effort and results. You see, the world doesn't reward effort blindly. It rewards effective effort. And that only comes from knowing what you're doing. Think about it. How many people do you know who work day and night, sacrificing sleep and sanity, yet barely make ends meet? And how many others, with just a laptop and Wi-Fi, seem to print money from thin air? The difference is not luck. The difference is knowledge. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men on the planet, spends up to 80% of his day reading. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science. Oprah Winfrey credits her rise from poverty to relentless learning. Success leaves clues. And the first one is this: the mind is your greatest asset. In this age, ignorance is not just a disadvantage, it's a decision. You can learn anything, anywhere, anytime. Yet some choose scrolling over studying, entertainment over education, and then wonder why wealth feels so far away. The truth is harsh but freeing. If you're not informed, you'll be deformed, twisted by bad decisions, broken by poor judgment, paralyzed by financial fear. But the moment you start seeking knowledge, everything changes. Because information leads to transformation. How much you know determines how far you'll go. It opens doors, breaks ceilings, shifts your mindset, and most importantly, positions you for opportunity. These are not fairy tales. They're modern truths. When you invest in knowledge, you're not just learning facts, you're rewiring your future. And in the game of money, knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. So ask yourself, what do you really know about money, about wealth, about value creation? Because what you don't know is already costing you more than you think. And until you know the rules, you'll always play the wrong game. Spend money on books, seminars, podcasts, and any relevant information that will change your life. Money spent on books are not waste. They are investments into the future. The rich people today are those who are selling information and ideas. Don't ever play with knowledge if you want to make more money. Before we move to the second rule of money, I want you to subscribe and type in the comment section, I have knowledge about money. The second rule, learn how to use debt. To the poor, debt is a trap, a prison, a curse to be feared. But to the wealthy, debt is a tool, a strategy, a secret weapon hidden in plain sight. Most rich people have debt, but not the kind you think. You see, there are 2 types of debt, bad debt and good debt. And if you don't learn the difference, you're playing the money game blindfolded. Bad debt is when you borrow money to consume, buying things that lose value, things that drain your income, things you can't afford to begin with. It's credit cards maxed out on clothes, electronics, dinners you can't pay for. That's bondage. But good debt is a leverage. It's using someone else's money not to buy liabilities, but to build assets, to make money. The wealthy understand this. Why use your own money when you can use someone else's to grow faster? That's leverage. And here's the twist. They're using your money. You save money in the bank. The bank gives you 1% interest, then lends your money to someone else, someone with knowledge, who flips it for 15%, 30%, 50% returns. That person isn't scared of debt. They understand it. They use it. There are people offered zero-interest loans from their workplace, free money, and they walk away from it. Not because the deal was bad, but because they were never taught how to turn debt into wealth. Fear kept them poor. What if I told you that the car you fear financing could be making you $200 a day? That a $10,000 business loan could birth a $100,000 business? That the richest people you admire are not debt-free, they're debt-smart. Debt is not the enemy. Ignorance is. Because debt in the hands of the untrained is destruction. But in the hands of the wise, it's acceleration, it's expansion. So the next time someone tells you debt is evil, ask yourself, is it the debt or is it the lack of strategy? Because the rich aren't afraid of debt. They command it, they master it, they turn it into wealth, and so can you. So the rule is that learn how to use debt. When you have an opportunity to get loan and you know what to do with the money to give you profit, take the loan, invest it, and the returns of your investment will pay the loan. Type in the comment section, I am learning. Now, let's move to rule number 3. Because even with knowledge and leverage, if you break this next rule, everything can come crashing down. The third rule, learn how to control and manage your cash flow. Imagine your body without blood. It doesn't matter how strong your heart is. Without blood circulating, everything dies. Now ask yourself this. What do you think keeps your financial life alive? The answer is cash flow. And once it stops, everything else follows. Cash flow is the lifeblood of every business, every household, every dream. You can have a great product, a fancy office, a big paycheck, but if cash isn't flowing in the right direction, you're on a ticking clock. These weren't small businesses. They were giants. And yet they fell. Not because they weren't making money, but because they lost control of their cash flow. Some people make thousands every month, but are still broke. Why? Because it's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you make. You can earn $10,000 a month and still be in debt, or earn $2,000 and still be building wealth. The difference is cash flow management. If you don't know how to manage your cash flow, you won't know how to balance your income and your expenditure. And once your expenditure becomes greater than your income, your upkeep will become your downfall. Proper cash flow management begins with documentation. You need to track down every income, every expense, not just for business, but for your life. Because what you don't measure, you can't control. When you document, you discover. You start to see where your income is really coming from and how to increase it. You also expose what's draining your wallet so you can cut it off before it bleeds you dry. The truth is, many people don't have a money problem. They have a management problem. And what you mismanage, you will eventually lose. Whether it's a business, a career, or your life savings. Control your cash and you control your future. But let it control you. And you'll always live in survival mode, just barely keeping the lights on, just barely getting by. So don't just hustle. Don't just earn. Manage. Because when you master your cash flow, you don't just stay alive, you thrive. Let's keep going, because the next rule will show you how to protect everything you've worked so hard to build. The fourth rule, prepare for bad times to have fruitful times. Good times don't last forever, and bad times don't send a calendar invite. They just come, unannounced, unforgiving, unexpected. The question is, will you be ready? When the world shut down in 2020, many people were caught off guard. Not because they were lazy, not because they were weak, but because they weren't prepared. The rule is simple. Every person should have 6 to 8 months of living expenses saved. If your job disappears tomorrow, your rent, food, bills, and peace of mind should not. Nature understands this principle. Animals prepare before winter. Farmers store harvests before drought. But humans, we often spend everything in the season of abundance, forgetting that seasons change. The world moves in cycles, just like nature. There's a time to plant, a time to harvest, a time to rest, and a time to rebuild. Economies rise, markets fall, and no matter how wealthy you are, if you don't prepare for famine, you will not survive it. True wealth is not about how high you rise during good times, but how well you stand when everything falls apart. If you prepare in the years of plenty, what you saved in the good days will carry you through the hard days. That is called the wealth cycle. Farmers call it bush fallowing. You work the land for a season, then let it rest, so it can be fertile again. Even in life, you need seasons to retreat, to restore, to restock, because nobody reigns forever except the Creator. So don't build a kingdom with no walls. Plan for bad times if you ever want to enjoy the good ones. Here's the twist. Crises are not just problems, they are powerful opportunities. History proves it. Every economic downturn creates a new wave of millionaires and billionaires, but only for those who are ready. While some panic, others prepare. While some freeze, others move. While some see a problem, others see a window. But you can't grab opportunity in crisis if you didn't prepare in peace. Most people turn external problems into internal panic and freeze. They let fear rob them of motion. But the wise, the ones who understand the game, they prepare in silence so they can move in storms. Now let's move to rule number 5. Because even if you've prepared and survived, the real question is, how do you multiply what's in your hands? The answer lies in the next principle. The 5th rule, speed and automation. The world is moving faster than ever. And if you're not keeping up, you're falling behind. In the age of high-speed internet, digital wallets, instant messaging, AI, and automation, slowness is not just a disadvantage, it's a death sentence. Remember the old days? Standing in long queues to withdraw money, filling paper forms, waiting hours, sometimes days for basic transactions. Now, you can sit in Ghana and send money to someone in Canada in less than a minute. Authors used to wait months to print books and distribute them. Now, a writer in Nigeria can publish an ebook today and have a reader in Germany download it within seconds. Speed and automation have changed the game. During the COVID lockdown, businesses that relied on foot traffic collapsed. But those who built systems, those who automated, they kept earning while the world was on pause. If you're still doing things manually in a digital age, you've already expired. You just haven't noticed it yet. This is not the time to be analog in a digital world. It doesn't matter what business you're in, fashion, retail, food, education, transportation, even farming. Ask yourself right now, how can I automate this? How can I move faster? Because the one who moves fast wins. We are in the age of systems, platforms, and speed. If you don't build a system around your hustle, you will always have to trade time for money. But systems make money while you sleep. That's the secret of the wealthy. Speed is not a luxury. It's a necessity. The customer who orders from you online doesn't want to wait 48 hours for a reply. They'll go to someone who responds in 5 minutes. And you know who responds in 5 minutes? Automated systems. Education has changed. Business has changed. Money has changed. And if you don't change with it, you'll watch opportunity fly by like a plane, and you'll still be on a donkey. Automation is not just for the rich. It's for the smart. Use tools, use apps, build systems. The more you automate, the more time you free up. And the more time you free up, the more value you can create. The 6th rule, learn the language of money. Imagine this. Someone is trying to help you. They're giving you the answer, the opportunity, the $1 million idea, but they're speaking in a language you don't understand. You hear the words, but to you, it's just noise. That is exactly how most people experience money. Money speaks, opportunities speak, wealth speaks. But if you don't understand its language, you miss the message every single time. You see, every industry has a language. Medicine has its language. Law has its language. Technology has its language. And so does money. If you don't learn it, you'll never last in the room where wealth is built. Wealthy people don't just have more money, they have more understanding. They know what a good deal looks like. They can smell an asset in disguise. They know how to make a little money work like an army. 2 people can earn the same amount of money, but only one becomes wealthy. Why? Because one speaks the language of money. The other is just mimicking sounds with no meaning. Here's the secret. Every problem is money. Every idea is money. Every person you meet is money. But the reason most people stay broke is because they don't recognize the signs. They can't decode the clues because they never learn the language. The market isn't magic, it's math. It's timing, it's structure, it's language. If you learn how to read it, you'll never be broke again. But if you fear it, if you ignore it, it will always feel like a casino you can't win. The language of money is not just about numbers, it's about value, about problem solving, about vision. And once you learn it, you'll see money everywhere. It's not hiding, it's not scarce, it's speaking loudly. You cannot become wealthy if you don't understand money, period. But the moment you learn its language, you'll never be poor again, because you'll finally understand what money's been trying to tell you all along. Now we've reached the edge, 6 powerful rules down, but there's one left, one final key that ties them all together. It is the reason why most people fail and the secret behind those who never stop growing. Stay with me. Rule 7 will change everything. The 7th rule, learn how to print money. Yes, you heard me right. They print it, not literally like central banks, but through ideas, products, and services that bring in money on repeat. While others are trying to earn, hustle, and beg, the wealthy are building systems that print money while they sleep. Stop showing off what other people created. Those expensive designer bags, that Range Rover, that iPhone you hold so proudly, they're someone's idea. Someone sat down, created a product, built a brand, and now you're wearing their wealth. They're not richer than you because they're lucky. They're richer because they created something. They didn't wait to be paid. They built something that pays them again and again and again. Here's the real rule. If you want to break free from the paycheck trap, you must learn to print your own money. That means turning your ideas into income, your skills into systems, your time into products. Because the world doesn't pay you for how hard you work. It pays you for the value you create. You can write a book. You can launch a product. You can create a brand. You can sell your knowledge. You can build software. You can design something people want. That's how you print money. No matter how good your job is, you are still earning from someone else's machine. The moment they cut you off, you're done. But when you build your own machine, your own product, your own service, you own your wealth stream. Look around you. The richest people in the world, they don't sell time. They sell products. They sell systems. Jeff Bezos didn't just read books. He built Amazon. Rihanna didn't just wear makeup. She launched Fenty. Every wealthy person is a creator, not just a consumer. You don't need millions to start. All you need is an idea, a plan, and the courage to start. It can be small, but if it's yours, if you own it, it can grow. That's your money machine. That's how you print money. This is the final rule. Learn how to print money. Stop chasing jobs. Stop idolizing things you don't own. Start building what the world needs and charge for it. Because until you create something, you'll always pay for what others created. You've now learned the 7 powerful rules of money, but the real power begins when you act on them. So what are you going to do now? Sit back and admire other people's success? Or stand up and start building your own? If this video opened your eyes to how money really works, don't just click away and forget what you've learned. Hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is built to turn viewers into wealth builders. We don't just talk about money, we teach you how to master it. Like this video if it sparked something in you, and drop a comment below. Which of the 7 rules hit you the hardest? I want to hear your thoughts, your goals, your turning point. And listen, if you know someone who's working hard but still broke, share this video with them. They don't need more hustle. They need the rules. Because the truth is, most people will never learn this in school. And that's why they stay stuck. But not you. Not anymore. You've just taken the first step toward financial freedom. Now take the next one. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and stick around. We're just getting started.